اتفضل يا فندم.
Now we will take 3 questions from foreign correspondents here in Cairo. We'll start with Jonathan from ITN, Channel 4.
Foreign Minister, do you not accept that in the last few days, hundreds of unarmed civilians have been gunned down and killed by your security forces, and that the use of force has been excessive?
Thank you. Tian from the Chinese news agency.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My question is, President Obama condemned what the army had done to the sit-inners. So does that mean there will be a rift between Egypt and America? Where will the relationship between the two countries go? Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Charlie from CPS News. Charlie?
Yes, Minister, we appreciate the images of gunmen that you may have in the crowds, but 800 people dead, 3,000 people wounded. It doesn't sound like restraint from your security forces. Some of that we witnessed ourselves. How far are you prepared to go down this path before suffering serious consequences?
One last question. Come on.
Another one from the representative of the Spanish news agency.
Yeah. Could you please develop a little more on which will be the focus of this fact-finding committee that you announced, and which could be the steps that the ministry could be taking after reviewing this, the foreign aid as you announced?
Sorry, thank you. Let me respond again in reverse order. Several of the questions repeat the same theme. On the issue of the foreign aid, I am not an irrational person, nor am I emotional. The review of foreign aid will be done in a very objective fashion. What is useful to us, we will continue, of course, and try to expand on. What is not useful to us, we will obviously consult with the other party involved to either stop or to revise its procedures. It's a logical step, but it's important also, it's a logical step. It would have been part of the review I called for at the very beginning of my tenure here in office about all of our policies, but it's being done now with particular emphasis because of the repeated theme we keep hearing, that if Egypt doesn't do this or doesn't do that, then aid will be stopped here or will be stopped there. In terms of the fact-finding mission, again, I said 2 things. One, it will look at what happened since or after the June 30th events and attempt to verify the facts, substantiate them, make sure that they are available. What's the word for it? Basically, to provide all of the evidence and the facts. We have not finished yet looking at the details, who will be the members, how this will be done, what's the complete mandate. I simply gave you a heads up that that's what we're studying now, and it's a commitment we're making, frankly, primarily to the Egyptian people. The Egyptian people have the right to know all the facts. I think all major states around the world, when they pass through historic phases, it's important to codify and substantiate the facts. But the mandate hasn't been finished, so we need a few more days to deal with that. The issue of President Obama's condemnation, when you read President Obama's speech carefully, he did condemn what he considered to be excessive use of force by government forces. He also condemned violence throughout the events by all parties. And he also emphasized the importance of the Egyptian-American relationship and his interest in pursuing that. We take the speech as a whole and we analyze it in detail. These are not easy times for us with many of our friends internationally and obviously also with the US. But we are serious, rational people who have confidence in themselves and preserve very closely the Egyptian decisions in Egyptian hands. Regarding the casualties, different incidents, there were two questions on the issue of casualties. Of course, my first reaction is, at least one of the questions reflects the mistake that you keep making. That you're putting everything in the same basket, you're killing everything at the same time. My argument, frankly, is that, first of all, I mourn all casualties, even those who are guilty of using force. Personally, I mourn all casualties. But there is a distinction between casualties that occur by mistake, casualties that occur by way of collateral damage, and casualties that occur as a result of premeditated, rampant use of violence against civilian facilities. And that's why I drew a distinction between events from 30th of June onwards and what happened 2 days ago. What happened 2 days ago was not a result of a security crackdown. It was a premeditated, pre-announced week of anger with clear targets against civilian facilities. There has been a large number of casualties on both sides, including among the security forces. Last night, Sheikh Al-Azhar mourned all the casualties, called on everyone to engage in a dialogue. I've repeated today that security has to be ensured, stability has to be found, but the political dialogue option is paramount, is on the table for anyone that has not violated the law. That's the position, that's where we want to move. Any other questions?
أستاذ محمود النوبي الأهرام.
سيادة الوزير، لماذا لا تستفيد مصر من تجارب المصالحة التي وقعت في دول مجاورة، خاصة وأن الشعب المصري تنتابه حاليا حالة من الغضب والإحباط نتيجة الأحداث اليومية وتصلب المواقف من جانب، سواء من جانب الحكومة أو من جانب الإخوان المسلمين. هناك أيضا جهاد يعني مسؤولين من النظام السابق يعني يتحدثون إلى الإعلام الغربي كل يوم، ونحن لا نجد من جانب الحكومة الانتقالية من يخاطب الإعلام الغربي في القنوات الفضائية. بالنسبة للسؤال الثاني، بالنسبة لجولة سيادتك في الدول المجاورة السودان وجنوب السودان غدا، ما هي الرسالة التي يعني تعتزمون إرسالها؟ شكرا.
الأستاذ أحمد مصلحي، تلفزيون الحياة.
سيادة الوزير، عايز أعرف من حضرتك لماذا حتى الآن لم يتم الدعوة إلى عقد اجتماع لوزراء الخارجيه العرب او القمه العربيه، يعني تعقد قمه عربيه في جامعه الدول العربيه لاتخاذ موقف موحد وكامل من الدول العربيه جامعه. يعني في مواقف فرديه من بعض الدول العربيه ايدت اللي بيحصل في مصر، لكن احنا محتاجين دولة كبيرة زي مصر قلب الوطن العربي لازم تعرف مين اللي معاها ومين اللي عليها، مش مجرد مواقف فردية، يبقى موقف عربي موحد. في ناس مؤيدة لمصر ولا لا؟ في شق تاني أيضا عايز أعرفه من حضرتك، بما إن حضرتك قلت إن سفرائنا في الخارج معاهم هذه الفيديوهات وهذه الصور وما حدث من أعمال عنف وإرهاب في مصر، وبيطلعوا السلطات الرسمية اللي موجودين فيها كسفراء ليها في هذه الدول، ومع ذلك هناك لغة عدائية من بعض الدول زي تركيا، زي قطر، زي جنوب أفريقيا، زي فنزويلا ودول تانية. ازاي هيتم التعامل وهيكون في رد قوي ولا لا على هذه الدول، بما ان حضرتك قلت ان هم مطلعين على الامر من خلال سفرائنا في دول؟